Open your eyes. It's 2 a.m., 50,000 years ago. No ceiling, no walls. Behind you, 20 people you love are asleep in the dark. In front of you, one small flame. And whether they live to see the morning depends entirely on whether you stay awake. The ground beneath you isn't a mattress, it's packed earth. Cold, hard from 100 feet that walked it today. The air smells like cold smoke and damp earth and old fat burning slow. Your knees ache, your eyes already want to close. Listen. Not silence. Natural silence. Wind in the pines, an owl far off, and behind you the sound of 20 people trusting you with their lives. You can hear them breathing. Someone turns over in their sleep. A baby makes a small sound and goes quiet again. Every one of those breaths is happening because that little orange flicker in front of you is still alive. This isn't camping. There's no tent to zip up, no flashlight in your pocket. This is your first night on watch, and you already understand the job. The worst job no one wanted in the Stone Age, because you are the fire watcher. The first thing most people imagine about ancient fire is that someone just made it. You know, caveman rubs 2 sticks together, big flame, done. Problem solved forever. Actually, no one could. That's the movie myth, and it's completely wrong. Making fire by friction takes 45 minutes when you are an expert. When you are not an expert, it takes hours. When it is wet, when your hands are cold, when the wood is damp, it is impossible. For most of human history, humans didn't make fire. They kept fire. They found it after a lightning strike, maybe. Or they carried it from a wildfire, burning slow in a lump of fungus for miles. And once they had it, losing it wasn't an inconvenience. It was a catastrophe. If your fire goes out in the middle of winter, you don't just relight it. You walk, for days, to find another tribe who has one, and you beg to borrow an ember. And that other tribe might just kill you instead. So no one was allowed to let it go out. Ever. Let's go. So what is the job, really? It sounds simple, right? Watch the fire. Keep it burning. It is not simple. It is boring, stressful, and almost impossible. Your job is to feed it, but not too much. Too much wood, and you smother it. You waste the fuel you spent all day collecting and drying. Too little wood, and it dies down to nothing but cold ash, and you will never get it back. You have to know which wood smokes, which wood sparks, which wood burns hot and fast, and which wood will sit there and glow for an hour. You have to dry tomorrow's wood by the fire tonight without catching it on fire. You have to watch the wind, because one strong gust can scatter your embers across dry grass and burn your entire shelter down while everyone is asleep. And you cannot stare too long at the flames, because if you stare at the flames, you lose your night vision. And if you lose your night vision, you can't see what's outside the circle, which raises a fascinating question. What is actually outside the circle? Whether you stay alive depends on what you do in the next 3 minutes, and whether everyone else stays alive depends on what you don't do. Don't fall asleep. Somewhere out there, other hunters are waking up. They are hungry, and they have learned what it means when a fire gets small. You think of night as just day without sun. But 50,000 years ago, night was a different planet. In the dark, you are not the hunter. You are the hunted. Your eyes are terrible at night. You can't see past 10 feet, but a leopard can, a hyena can. A pack of wolves can see you perfectly, standing there, lit up like food. They have been watching your camp since sunset. They are not stupid. They know you have spears. They also know spears are useless if you can't see where to throw them. The fire is the only thing telling them you are not food. It's a force field. As long as it burns bright, they stay back. But animals are patient. They test it. You hear it now. A twig snapping just outside the light. Too heavy to be wind. Another one, a little closer. When the fire shrinks, their circle gets smaller. When your flame flickers low, their world gets bigger. You add a small branch, just enough. The light pushes back. The twig snapping stops. For now, you are breathing fast and you didn't even notice. That's the job. 3 hours of sheer boredom and then 10 seconds of pure terror. Over and over until sunrise. And you can't wake anyone up for that. Because if you wake everyone for every sound, you become the kid who cried wolf. Next time they won't wake up. And next time might be the time it matters. So you sit, you watch, you keep that little pile of light alive. Let's go. But here's the question no one asks about the fire watcher. Why trust one sleepy human with everything? Because that little orange flicker in front of you is not just heat. We think of fire as just warm. For your tribe, that fire is literally everything. That little flame is the reason these 20 people call themselves a we. It's light to work by, so your mother can still sew hides together after the sun is gone. It's a kitchen, the only way to make meat soft enough to eat and safe enough to keep your kids from dying. It's a pharmacy, because you can smoke meat over it for days so it doesn't rot and poison you next week. It's a tool factory. You are hardening the tip of a spear in it right now without even thinking about it. The heat straightens wood. The coals turn soft stone into sharp edges. It is also time. Before clocks, before calendars, the fire was how you measured the night. How high it burned told you how long until dawn. It was the first social network. This is where stories live. Where old people remember the way to the water hole 3 valleys over. Where kids learn which berries kill you and which ones save you. The Watcher wasn't just keeping people warm. You were keeping time, keeping stories, keeping the tribe's entire technology running while everyone else dreamed. Which raises a fascinating question. If this job is so important, who do you give it to? Not the strongest hunter. He needs sleep so his hands don't shake tomorrow when the mammoth charges. Not the chief, whatever that even means 50,000 years ago. No, you give it to the most trusted. In most tribes it was teenagers, kids who needed to prove they belonged. Kids who needed to learn what responsibility actually felt like when no one was watching. Or it was elders, grandmothers who couldn't run down deer anymore, but who could remember every single night the hyenas came close and what sound they made first. Falling asleep on this job wasn't a mistake. It was betrayal. Being banished from your tribe wasn't just a punishment. For most of human history, it was almost a death sentence. If you fell asleep and the fire died in winter, if your baby cousin got sick because the meat spoiled, if the wolves got close because you let the light go low, you didn't get a second chance. You broke the one rule that kept everyone alive. Someone stays up so others can rest. That feeling you have right now, that heavy guilt in your stomach just because your eyelids are drooping, that feeling was invented here, right here, on this cold ground staring at this small flame. Responsibility, duty, shame, trust. We didn't invent those in offices and schools. We invented them on nights like this. Let's go. You think staying up late is hard now? Try doing it when falling asleep actually could kill everyone you love. Your eyes are burning. Your back is screaming. You have been awake for so long the flames start to look like faces. You count your breaths to stay awake. 1, 2, 3. You stand up. You sit down. You poke the embers with a stick just to have something to do, and then the sky changes. It's so slow you almost miss it. The black turns to a very dark blue. The owl stops calling. The wind shifts. Behind you, one of the breaths changes rhythm. Someone is waking up. It's an old man. He crawls out from under the skins, his knees popping. He doesn't say anything. He just puts a hand on your shoulder. His hand is warm. Yours are freezing. He takes your stick. He sits down where you were sitting. And just like that, you are off shift. You stumble to your sleeping spot, the packed earth that is somehow the most comfortable bed you have ever felt, and you collapse. You finally get to sleep while someone else takes watch. For 200,000 years, this is how every single night ended. One exhausted human handing survival to the next, and tomorrow night you'll do it again. The fire flares one last time as the sky turns blue. You realize you didn't survive the night because you were strong or fast. You survived it because 20 people decided one person should stay awake. One human alone in the dark is prey. 20 humans around a fire that never goes out become something entirely different. They become unstoppable. So, tonight when you click on a lamp, when your heater kicks in, when your house glows without you thinking about it, remember this. For most of human history, light didn't just happen. Someone had to stay awake for it. Someone had to watch the fire while everyone else dreamed. Survival has almost nothing to do with being the strongest individual. It has everything to do with becoming the person who stays awake. And that job, that boring, stressful, beautiful job, is the reason you're here at all.